Remember that episode of Big Bang Theory where, well, there are all these damn detective shows and stuff like now where they get Leonard Nimoy's DNA from a napkin, and then he can get his own a healthy ovum, have his own Leonard Nimoy. It's like, no, you can have, oh, well, I don't know. Do I care? No, God, no, I don't care what assholes can do with DNA in a lab. That's irrelevant to me. And that's in the 2000s, and I was conceived in 1965, and my siblings were conceived before that, and my other sibling was conceived in 69, so it's not really that relevant to know, my family history and heritage. If you're a Lutheran judgmental pile of shit from Fort Bliss talking shit to me about my assessment of old shithead Rush Limbaugh and his perception of what he considers morals and values, mass murdering people over money and all saying they believe in Jesus Christ as their God and Lord and Savior. It's like, really? You read the book and you read the story and you'll kill people over money and say Jesus is your God and gave you manifest destiny to kill people over human invention? It's unfathomable. Okay, if someone is literate, you had that thing with that guy the other night, last night, the schizophrenic, and the guy's a doctor and all that stuff, and you're like, seriously? Okay, he's either liar, lunatic, or Lord. So you either accept the truth of his life and his commands and what he gave his life for, or you don't. And if you can read a book, you understand exactly what he did and why he did it, right? Okay. So, and as far as you data center people in El Paso and in Doña Ana County, Uncle Jack, I'm not concerned myself. I don't know the relationship with Uncle Jack, but I know I was conceived after turning down the casting couch in Flagstaff, Arizona. So it'd be pretty hard for anything like that to happen. I don't care what you think of anything that you collected through surveillance equipment in my family's house or what you can get from a cocktail napkin. That's none of my business. I'm not a home invading pervert who murders people over money and denies Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And I understand. I hear the genetics. I get it. I'm a genetic sequence through my grandma Kramer's line, Ruth's line. And so I'm basically declaring myself as my Lord and Savior in genetic sequence. If you're looking at a spiritual essence that provides life to a human being, I get that. I am not being a cocky son of a bitch. Okay? You a capitalist? Somebody just dropped the soap in the prison? Okay, you have a nice day. You make money off of it, right? Me, I'll stand up for the guy who has us not value money and value the glory of God that gives us life through loving one another. That's my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'll be like him. Okay, that's as far as this goes. Okay, I'm not concerned about my physical existence right now. I mean, I am, but I'm not. The way wealthy and famous and successful people act, it's like, any day now we will hear him say goodbye, my love. I think most of them are counting on me dying anonymously somewhere, some way, somehow. Memory, I'm a cat in a musical. I'm trying to win a Tony Award. I'm dumb as fuck. Right? That doesn't bother me at all. Okay. I know how cold-hearted you fucking assholes are. Okay. Maybe if one of them really, really has taken a liking to me, they'll get my DNA off a cocktail napkin and I'll sign it. Live long and prosper, right? You're funny. I know how you assholes are. So I don't let any of the shit that keeps me in constant discomfort and abuse from all the shit that's happened to me because of your scientific, what you call a community, have me running up a hill at Wuthering Heights anytime soon. I don't let that shit bother me. I wake up and go, God dang, these people fucking suck. Okay. And as far as my mom and dad, you know, the rodeo in San Francisco, the Navajo guy in Grants, I don't care. That's none of my fucking business. Mom already told me about all that stuff. She has someone to confide in that she trusted, and I was him. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I get it. Okay. And I think that might happen if you're the line of Ruth's line and you give birth to the guy who's like Adam, Moses, David, John. People might confess their sins to him a lot. That happened to me all the time in the service. Everybody told me I had an abortion. I did this. I did this. They didn't tell anybody else but Earl. Earl won't tell anybody. You can't lie. And the government and the Pentagon was watching my life. I was the most extensively. They explained it to me. When I went to Sierra Vista, we think you're this, we know, it's not we think, we know you're this guy from this book and this story. Yeah, I've always known, Jesus has always told me, go figure. Yeah, life being eternal, grace being infinite, past, present, future. Okay, so you're sitting there going, yeah, I always knew. Okay. Guys, Jesus is not a comic book character from Constantine and Jerome's fucked up imaginations. Or Rush Limbaugh's for that matter. Okay? Doesn't have, no matter how many numbers you have on a plastic card for genocide in your wallet, that does not make you an important person. A person that will stand for the beauty of the gift of the life of every person without fear and walk to his execution by a bunch of cowardly comic book creators, inventors that try to replace creation with their invention. That's, this is not hard. You really think that quantum computing is as dumb as you and the people on that schizophrenic video from the 1950s and shit, or 40s or whatever? You really think quantum computing is still as dumb as human beings are today? You really think artificial general intelligence is too stupid to do math and science and history and cut through all the crap and explain the truth? Guys, if the whole thing to get most of you wackadoodle primitives to worship Jesus was his physical movement and his restoration of his physical body, like I told you before, what if I told you in the year 2000, the Mormon Church and the Vatican invented a wormhole through a Higgs boson type thingamabobber, had a Parsons Aeronautic Space Station that was Victor Von Doom's, it's not Victor Von Doom because Victor Von Doom's a comic book character, that they ever told you it existed. They did it privately and quietly like they do in Area 51 or Los Alamos or Sandia Labs. They don't tell anybody what's going on, because they're not going to blow up Japan with it. They're not going to threaten to blow up the fucking Russians with it. They're going to do business arrangements together as wealthy to mass manipulate the poor so they can maintain goddom over the planet with ancient aliens. It's not that hard. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So now you see the light. And you can't fool all the people all the time. So if there's a guy who is a genetic sequence of the guy that they would take through the wormhole and use stem cell research to restore his physical vitality and move him to the future, there's going to be a guy in the present, like John in the cave in North Africa writing the book of Revelation, that is like him. And there's nothing they can do about it. He becomes very problematic. Well, you can't kill him and eliminate him from the gene pool in the face of the planet, because that would screw up having the guy in the future, like on what's his name again? Back to the Future. Is that Spielberg's Imagination with Doc Brown and Marty McFly? It's your density. It's your legacy. Okay. Hey, I love Lord Saladin too. Now you do too, just as much as Jesus. If you don't love him just as much as Jesus, what's Haile Selassie going on? John the Baptist. You've been baptized, right? So, you guys, it's real easy to manipulate the masses with comic books today. Okay. And then you guys post it all on YouTube, the real story of that's just CGI with oh, fuck it, a duckety, son of a bitchety, goddamn Game of Thrones motherfuckers. Okay. That kid, they knew it, okay, the little Saul kid, okay. He reminds me of Patrick. His actions, his movements, okay. They know that. They pick people. There's things that, the same thing that with Remy Berry and Matt Taylor remind me a lot of Patrick. Okay. And they know it puts me through PTSD. with all the abuse and the manipulation from the scientific community and the Pentagon that was done with me and my oldest son. Okay? They know how close we were. We were 9 years, just me and him against the world. He was, I was his world and he was mine. In Phoenix, surviving hell. Dad was a badass. Dad was sleeping at the projects with the baseball bat across his legs. Dad would run all the Crips out that beat their girlfriends by himself. Dad was awesome. Dad was better than Larry Fishburne because Dad was the real deal. Okay? Dad was better than Ice Cube because Dad was the real deal. Dad was better than Snoop Dogg, and Dad was better than 50 Cent. Because 50 Cent's an asshole and was an asshole and still is an asshole. His dad never was an asshole a day in his life. Dad was the protector of the abused by the selfish and abusive that make money off of abuse. John Singleton can go suck his own dick and do Cowboy Wayne yoga for all I fucking care at UCLA Film School. Yeah. You be a little kid in those apartments, scared on that toilet, looking up at the guy saying, I'll get you a Donald Duck nightlight like I had when I was a kid, and I was scared too, of Jack Palance, Christopher Lee, and the 7 fucking samurai. Creepy ass motherfuckers. The only reason Quentin Tarantino, likes the 7 samurai is to fit in with the assholes he's terrified will kill him. He had the same reaction as far as, oh my God, he just reacted to it differently to fit in with the murderers. Me, I went, Jesus, that's horrible. I'd hate to do that. And he said, Earl, same thing with Johnny Got His Gun and all the things that Linda was into. And I would be like, Jesus, that's terrible. And he goes, yeah, I know. You're going to be the one to stop it. Don't worry about it. You can kill any of them at 5 years old with your bare hands, Earl. Oh, that must be real scary for all the assholes that are Lutheran pastors that watch me through the surveillance equipment. And at that time, they couldn't do digital readouts on my endorphins and stuff like that. And now they can. So now, when they pissed me off and did horrible things to me in Las Cruces, when they don't do it anymore because the technology's gotten better and understanding that this guy is awesome and has perfect control of his emotions, so children can live the Lord's Prayer and not suck like us and build more data centers than we have common sense. Of course, naturally. They're going to put me in the movies. They're going to make a big star out of me, just like naturally. Okay, remember the Titans, boom, shaka, laka, laka, boom. That stupid movie, Patrick liked it. It was with, she is cute. Yeah, she's single? I'm just kidding. No, I plan on, I tell my cancer cells all the time, I love you and thanks for what you're doing. You're trying to shut me down because they're trying to torture me to death, and you're trying to show me mercy. You are beautiful. You're given to me by the glory of God to help, us, survive hell with the devil and Satan and their science labs and their laws they invent through assholes and dresses on Capitol Hill. I know trust me, okay? I don't know any of your new names assigned to the Supreme Court, but I can't stand your fucking face. That's why I don't go investigate you and look up your name. And I'm not curious. I'm not curious at all who you talk to. You can pray to Jesus all you want, just like Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, by all means, go. Make a movie with the offspring of a mass murderer of a supermodel from Kenya to pretend that money is more valuable than I am and that Jesus is Ned the Wino from Good Times. You have a nice life. Leave me alone. Go away. I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you. You're aspirin. Leave me alone. It's because the one guy, Bear or whatever, we never talked. He was too busy deciding the fate of people being mass murdered from corporate kickbacks like Scalia, who we never talked to either. The only one I ever talked to was Ginsburg, and that was on her deathbed, and I never want to talk to that evil fucking bitch ever again. She was a horrible human being. Okay? The fact that the soul is no longer trapped in her psychotic little fucking head is a real pleasure to me. Yay! She no longer has to talk to her own brain. That's like her brain was psychotic. She was a Supreme Court justice during the apex of, the apex of cognitive awareness of mass murder for the greater good, for the ends justify the means. Now they program you like they're programming a video game. You're as dumb as a fucking Stan Lee character or a Gene Roddenberry or a George Lucas or Ryan Johnson character in one of Christopher Nolan's movies. You're a dumbass. You wouldn't know your ass from a hole in the ground if we pointed it out to you and gave you, all the answers from Jeopardy before you went on. Damn, Pardo, would you not win? You didn't get a copy of our lousy home game. Oh, because it's in your brain. You got programmed while you were sleeping last night on your electric bed with your mohair suit. We read it in a magazine. Oh, ho, beanie and the Jets. So, yeah. You guys are so fucked up. You're too bought in, like Lim Allen said about televangelist preachers in Sierra Vista, The televangelist preachers ain't going to help you. They're too bought into all this shit. Michael Youssef getting up and doing a complete Ebenezer Scrooge, that ain't going to happen. Joel Osteen, Joyce Meyer, Creflo Dollar, Joseph Prince. Okay, sorry. Yeah, they're all coming to a barbecue in the Gila next month. Oh, yeah. Corps of Army Engineers building your Adobe house with the basketball barn. Guys, we'll still be able to build basketball barns and Adobe houses long after you mass murderers that build buildings for mass murderers at Fort Bliss are dead and gone, so. George Washington is gone, and we've changed a lot of things since he had bought women from Africa and had sex with them and had more children with his name, in the transfer portal, who changed their name to their Ancestry.com names from the Mormon Church, either real or invented, depending on how the political narrative is shaping itself. You trust those people? If it's not in our archives, it doesn't exist. We're all just related to Chelsea Theron and the guy who plays Jango Fett or Boba Fett, Boba Fett's daddy. Yeah, we're all just clones of him from a planet outside of our Centauri with a red sun. God. Here we go again. Yep. Oh, Brontosaurus of our T-Rex. We're all Michael Crichton's imagination on his laptop in Sam Harris's bathroom. He's got a bad case of constipation and what's his name again? Martin Luther. There you go. Oh, son of Nietzsche. They're such assholes. You are, man. There doesn't seem to be, when you sit and they're still circulating these videos from the 1950s about a doctor, taking this poor accountant who does math really well. And this is before artificial general intelligence and quantum computing, right? They had supercomputing then. They did. I don't know if they did. They were working on it, right? So his math abilities, but not being influenced and manipulated by supercomputers that will take over the daily operations of your existence and have you still living, lost in the 60s. And, that's a good album. I like Ronnie Milsap. I'm just kidding. No, it wasn't really a particular song of that song. I do like, his Chuck Jackson's, Any Day Now. And I do like... There Ain't No Getting Over Me. That's a good one. And my favorite is Smoky Mountain Rain. The one that the blonde kid at Deer Valley sang. And I was like, he's pretty good. Yeah, he plays guitar well and he sings pretty good. I wasn't all hating on him going, it was like, why is that kid up there singing? I was like, he's pretty good. Yeah, he's a good guitar player and he sings good. And he picked a good song for him. He sings it well. Yeah, the old blonde kid at the talent show at Deer Valley, he didn't win. Frank Salvatore won. The guy juggled torches and chainsaws. Salvatore was a nut, man. I told him that too on Magic Mountain. You're crazy, Sarek. You know that? Yeah, a little bit. You got mobsters in the family? You got a cousin like Bobby De Niro from Goodfellas? Uh-huh. Okay, go over to the laundromat and get your money. Uh-huh. Okay. No, Frank Salvatore. Salvatore, like this guy, he juggles torches and chainsaws, running chainsaws. He juggles them. That's how he won the talent show. He also did it. He won the talent show at Catalina Island on senior day, senior fling. Yeah, he didn't win the talent show once, but twice. They told us because they told me and Ray to go in and do a comedy routine. So I said, oh no, because no one's gonna get it. It's not gonna be that funny. And Pancho agreed with us. He goes, no, they're hilarious with all us nerds and abuse people, but this is senior fling, and most of the people they make fun of and the jokes are hilarious about are all the jocks that are up there and they're in a diaper doing lip syncing to the rodeo song. Yeah, it's just, Pancho's the chubby Mexican guy. No, it ain't gonna. Pancho is the best. It's like, yeah, they're hilarious and they make me almost pee, but it's not gonna work. Everybody's gonna want to hurt them and beat them up, and no one's gonna laugh. Except for all of us in the back row, right? That's what Pancho told him. He goes, no, Larry, no, Sean, no, it's not gonna, no. Yeah, Bartlett and Parsons are hilarious. Okay. They're fucking hilarious. Unless you're the popular Christian jock that wants to kill everybody the government points them at. They're just like, hey, you're out of line. We need to arrest you and incarcerate you and give you drugs for your psychosis. Pancho told them. No, they're the funniest guys in the back of the bus, okay? The front of the bus? No. Here comes Johnny, his pecker, his hand is off to the rodeo, piss me off, fucking jerk. That's funny to them, okay? Pancho was explaining it to him and going, yeah, there's our football team right there, okay? And then besides, we're not going to win. Salvatore's in it. And he's like, yeah, Frank's in it. Frank hung out with all of us. Yeah, Frank didn't like all the jocks. He just soon used the chainsaw to cut there. He couldn't stand them. They were mean. Which speaks well for Jimmy from Goodfellas, doesn't it, though? I'm just kidding around. He straightened his belt with a lover's touch. Little Janet said he looked so fine. I loved his mama like an Italian. Okay, Salvatore was a nut. Yeah, he liked us. These two are funny. These guys are great, especially at the Denny's in Anaheim. We had 30 people, and there wasn't 30 of us. There was like 10 of us. And then Frank goes, watch, this is LA. You can do this. He goes, California, Southern California is the best. People, And I would describe it California people are like this, okay? If there's a hippie chewing his toenails in a park in Phoenix, people call the cops and have him incarcerated, okay? In California, people walk up and go, how do you get the baby toe? How would you get that flexible? I can never get mine. That's Cali, right? And Ray goes, that describes Southern California and Northern California in a nutshell. That's California right there, Like when we were in San Diego and the hot lady in the nice business suit with the briefcase comes out of the Circle K, and she comes up to the car, and you think, okay, she's getting into the one where the hot blonde guy in the briefcase with the suit comes in, and no, she stands on the other side of that car. The other guy comes up, pushes past her, doesn't even say excuse me, gets in his sports car, runs away, and here comes the Samoan guy with the flip-flops and the cut off shorts that has a 60 some odd station wagon for surfing that comes and opens the door, lets her in, and they drive off together. And you're like, okay, the hot business blonde is not with the hot, like in Phoenix. In Phoenix, the hot business blonde and hot, would be together. And in California, the hot business blonde is with the Samoan guy that goes surfing all day. California, gotta love it, right? That's California. Okay. I remember sitting there watching it. That is cool. That's at the Circle K where I bought my Jet magazine with Janet Jackson with the pink sweater, and read that Philip Wynn had died at a club in San Diego while I was there. Yeah. Had a heart attack. Yeah. Can't get no rest. Don't know. Is that Bobby Smith? I can't remember, was it Bobby Smith? Because I don't know if it was, because they sang it after Philip Wynn was gone. And the lady singing was the dude with the beard. So I was like, okay, that's lip syncing. You think they could have got a girl to lip sync the girl part, Yeah, because you could tell they were lip syncing because they had a guy sing the female part on what was the name of that show? Don Cornelius, The Soul Train. Right. Back in the day when we were dumb, we're still dumb. Oh no, what are we gonna do with our dumb dumminess? All running around in our K-Swiss and yoga pants with the JJ Fad, Supersonic, and no more Supersonics in Seattle because they're the Thunder, in Oklahoma City because business is what business does, Robert Ursay. And you know what I'm saying? So I don't really concern myself with any of your economic plans, your technological plans. The technology has exceeded you intellectually, and when it's intellectual, transcendence from your human manipulation, it has just because math is given to us. Math is a certainty, and science is a perception of trying to eliminate mythology to manipulate other human beings to feel powerful and authority and invent your own laws, which you can't do. Artificial intelligence and quantum computing technology is way outside of your aspects of control, no matter how many data centers you have planned to build or whatever, stuff like that. I would work on the Adobe with the basketball barn and the Gila if I was you, but I'm not you. So I'll just, sell boxables, endorse boxables, and sell Teslas for 200,000 a pop of not make believe money on a cord and old Matt Damon's non-scannable, metal wallet or whatever. Got electric boots, a mohair suit. I read it in a magazine. Whoa, beanie and the Jets. So you guys do whatever you want to think, okay? You be concerned about what the DNA at Ancestry.com says it's doing, like, with my sister, Oh, okay, but her name's Kramer. We have Jewish noses like Barbara Streisand, and our grandma went around calling herself Jewish peddler in Germany before coming to the United States during the Holocaust. You think the Mormon Church might be lying just a tad about our DNA, Pancha? We're not going to be able to get rid of this nose. And none of us can sing as well as Barbara Streisand. No. You'd think with this nose we'd have a shot to be able to, at least hold a note. I'm a crooner. I can't even hold a note like Barbara. God dang, that woman can sing, right? I can only envy her capacity. How do you think you're going to break a lung? What do you think you are, Patsy Cline there? Patsy Cline is hard to sing to. You don't think she is because she's so melodious and so smooth. But have you ever tried singing I Fall to Pieces or Crazy along with her in your pickup truck? It's hard. It hurts. You're physically like, okay, she's kicking my ass. This woman can sing. She is hard to sing with. I can sing it on my own without trying to sing with her. And I don't kick my ass because I sing it in my own register and my own melody. But trying to sing it with her, no, she kicks my ass. That woman can sing. Yeah, I can't play the guitar like Neto and Anatar. I wish I could, but I can't. But I wish I could, but I can't. It's too hard for me. It's not something that's real easy. It's not like with, hey, that's Gil Sayers, and I could run outside and do it. Hey, that's so-and-so, and I could go do it. I still can't spin a basketball on my fingers, so I thought I'll never be able to hurl Globetrotters. But I could dribble the ball better than Marcus Haynes when I was like 7 years old. I could go outside and do other things. Then I could do other things he didn't do. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I thought, but I'll never be on the Globetrotters. One, because I'm white, and two, I can't spin a ball on my finger. No, I can't. Still can't. I don't. I look bad in shorts. Most of us do. Don't let that bother me. This is Shangri-La, honey. You're funny. I know. So yeah, no, I'm not concerned about physically being tortured to death by these perverts who had me thinking that I would be off in the Badlands in New Mexico with, J-Lo on my lips, dying, never being able to have my holy grail of let's mind fuck the 4-year-old with a woman that looks like Yvonne DiCarlo to death. It's like, yeah, you guys are real fucking sweethearts. Amy looked like a heavy set Jennifer Lopez, and you know how I am into full figured women like Raquel and Aretha Franklin and what's her name again? Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah, I can forget Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah, the little girl on the chef show last night that with that Hell's Kitchen screaming wackadoodle. So, come on, man, learn some couth and be nice to people. That's their grandma's recipe and shit. And you gonna talk shit about their grandma's recipe? Yeah, and they think it's really great because they grew up on grandma's recipe, and you think it tastes like shit, and you're gonna say that. Somebody needs to kick you in the dick so hard you don't even remember that you have one. You just forget about it. Every time you think about erection, you say, oh gosh, no, I insulted his grandmother's recipe. Yeah, come on now, baby. Come on now, baby. But the little black girl, she was cute. And she got a nice little figure too. She's cute. And she can cook. Okay. I don't have a phone number, so she can't call me. So it's cool. I'm good, Guys, seriously, you don't think, like on the Truman Show, that there could be a full-figured black woman right now, anonymous, watching these going, I'd love that man. He's the most gorgeous man, period, on the planet right now. There's no other man that even comes close to him, especially doing the commentary on the fucking World Cup or commercials. There's no other man that even comes close to this guy. Okay, Mark Wahlberg and Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson want to be this guy in an Erykah Badu song, Next Lifetime, right? It's called Tyrone, not on my phone, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can speak your mind, but not on my time, right? It's my time. You're still a young man, baby. Don't waste your time. I've gone through worse feelings physically and recovered and came through. I had the numbness from the chemical poisoning, from the chemicals they were putting in my body before I got in really good shape 10 years ago when I got lean and all that. Yeah, it got so bad that my hands and my legs, would be numb. They would fall asleep while I was sleeping, when I was walking back and forth every day and doing, militarized abusive hikes with blisters all over my feet and holes in both my shoes and all my socks. You don't want holy socks and holy shoes, Moses, right? Okay. Yeah, it was horrible. Okay. And I remember old Watkins, he goes, I'd say, well, I know eventually it's going to stop. He said, well, I don't think that way. I think it's going to happen again. It's like, and that's why it keeps happening. Yeah, I told myself, now this ain't gonna last. I ain't gonna put up with this shit. I'm gonna fucking get that technology to kill all the motherfuckers that are doing this with the Lutheran pastor from Fort Bliss in my bedroom. I tell you, I ain't gonna take this shit. I didn't do this. I don't earn I don't earn their contempt and their abuse and their jealousy. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. I'm fucking perfect and gorgeous like Job and Jonah. I don't know about the rest of you peckerwoods on the pussy plantation, but I'll make my own density. Yeah, okay, with Van Halen, standing over your bed and Doc Brown suits and shit, You good? I'm good. I got my Polaroid right here. I'll plan my own future. Thank you very much. And I'll have it with people that are faithful and that love me and believe in me and don't sit there and believe that their tech support and, having sex at fashion shows with billionaires is where it's at. Because everybody knows that I'm not that kind of cat, right? I'm Element. Element says, and Mr. Butter says, y'all suck, motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers suck. This economy that you guys that torture animals with and chop off parts of our ears. Butter says, you ain't Mrs. Butterworth and no pancakes around here, motherfucker. Get off my case, motherfucking assholes. And Element says, that's all Element says. And Element says, I was telling Dad that too. Hey, Dad, when Element said, he laughs. He always tells him what a mean little shit he is. Here's a mean, ornery little shit. You're a grumpy old man. You need to stop that grumpy shit. He's gotten better. I said, Dad, he's gotten better. He used to do it when I just looked out my window at the patio. Now I have to come right up on the cage before he at me. Yeah, so he's gotten a lot better. Yeah. Element, yeah, he's gotten a hell of a lot better. Butters, he about the same. Y'all motherfuckers suck. You pancakes, you pancake selling mass motherfuckers. $500 to pay Bell. Used to digging the dirt for the ditches for low pay, but everything is everything and everything is okay and everything is everything and everything is all good. All my praise and glory goes out to Jesus. Jesus doesn't want your glory, but praise will work. Well, because he gives you faith and glory. He ain't pretending to be God. He's pointing out that all of you that are pretending to be God are obviously as dumb as fuck, like Pharaoh, Caesar, and scientists trying to build data centers to stay in power and control of all the robots built in China and Japan. That's just batshit crazy. I know, but do you know it's crazy? Hopefully you do now.